Hi, welcome to the channel that's inexplicably an experience. Welcome to the Steve Morgan experience. I'm Steve Morgan, this is my channel, this is my experience, and this is... We have got a great show coming up. We have literally got Clerks free review. We've got a wonderful special guest. We have got me on my soapbox. We've got one every week. We've got some bad jokes. We've got shouting it out. We've got all of that. So look forward to it. Bong, time for the news. Right, let's do some news. Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a bit of a slow news week this week, but good news. Gary Lineker got back from Match of the Day. He was going to be back on Match of the Day because the BBC gave in and gave him his job back. This was after 15 million. Was it 15? It was 1.5 million. 1.15 million. Fucking hell. No, 1.5 million people actually tuned in when he wasn't there. More than there was before. So you kind of think, to all the Doctor Who fans who keep saying Doctor Who's had its day, the ratings keep going down. If Gary Lineker can get his job back when the ratings go up, I'm pretty sure Doctor Who's fine. Oh no, wait a second. The ratings are going to go up soon because David Tennant's back. We're doomed! No, in another note about Mr. Lineker, of course, we all know that he got the sack. He didn't get the sack, but he was suspended or fired because they felt that, whatever it was, because they felt that his comments were bad. Now, his comments, of course, were that the government were using words which could have been used in Nazi situations. And the thing with the Nazi situations, let's try and do that again, shall we? That they were using words which were similar to words which were used during the beginning of the Nazi movement in Germany back in the 30s and 40s. Right, okay. So the thing is, right, it's very, very easy nowadays to call anyone a Nazi. It is, it really is. Because, for example, J.K. Rowling, she has been called a Nazi, and that's wrong. Kelly J. Keane, now you may not know who Kelly J. Keane is. She's someone who J.K. Rowling supports. She has this group called the Let Women Speak group. Now, J.K. Rowling claims that they are just there to speak for women and children, and so does Kelly J. Keane. She is there to speak for women and children. These rallies are not Nazi rallies, even though they have had people reading Mein Kampf. And they've had prominent far right speakers, but no, they're not Nazi rallies. Even the media have stated straight away that both sides think each other are Nazis, but both sides have to realise that that one side is just simply trying to get an opinion through, and the other side has to listen to that side and blah, 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 blah. This is happening in the media all the time. Apparently, they stand for women who are being silenced. And as a pro... now, in Australia, Kelly J. Keane has taken his Let Women Speak movement, and And while she was speaking, a woman went on the stage and grabbed the microphone and started to speak. A different opinion to Kelly Jo Keane, so her security guard whistled her to the floor and beat her up. But, oh no, they didn't beat her up, they held her by the neck. But hey, never mind. Because something else has happened during that wonderful thing, that wonderful, wonderful moment. Yeah, this little rally, it went a bit out of hand. There was a fight. And, well, the media usually, including The Guardian, which is a left-wing media paper, which is constantly saying rubbish and kind of disrespecting the trans movement. But these people, this is fantastic. The Nazis came. Now you're saying, Steve, you just said that you people are calling everybody Nazis nowadays. These guys were goose-stepping. They were going like that. There were pictures of them, there were things of them, they were on Kelly Jo Keane's side, and they started a fight. So, wonder how that happened, eh? Oh, no, it can't be Nazis, though, they're not Nazis. Oh, no, not Nazis. Sorry, but it's ridiculous. The Let Women Speak movement have literally, and Kelly Jo Keane, I never featured for what they're actually saying. Kelly Jo Keane actually said, any woman who believes in the transgender argument and is against me should be annihilated. They were her exact words. And we let her have a speak. Oh, come and have a speech, Kelly Jo Keane. Literally, hate speech is happening in our city streets, just like it did back in the 80s, just like it did back in the 60s. We've got to stop this. To turn around and say, oh, but it's freedom of speech, they're allowed their platform. Not if they're inciting hate, that's inciting riots. For God's sake, a riot happened. We were saying for ages, riots are going to happen. Now in the news, a riot happened. Surprise, surprise. And who was it? Yep, it was the neo-Nazis once again. Come on, people, think. Anyway, that's the news. Thank you very much. Let's do some other shows, shall we? Wally of the Week. Hi, so this is the Wally of the Week. And our Wally of the Week today is called Mrs. Sunrise or Sunshine or something like that. Anyway, as I said back in the news, there was a rally, a Let Women Speak rally, and the neo-Nazis turned up, and there's lots of pictures of them. Here are some pictures of them, as you can see, doing some lovely goose steps there. Lovely. And someone said, the neo-Nazis are here, blah, blah, blah. And this person now, she came on with this comment. So, Hitler and Peter, that's the animal organisation, both don't eat animals. Okay. So Hitler and Pamela Anderson, who's a member of PETA, are politically aligned. What the fuck does that mean? They're goose-stepping. They're literally doing Hitler's goose-step. They might as well have Nazi fucking flags as well. But no, apparently that's the same as eating meat. Oh, well, people could goose-step. Why don't we all just goose-step? For fuck's sake. Anyway, she says, also, the Nazis hated gays, but they never came after the cross-dressing straight men. What? First of all, transgender people are not cross-dressing straight men. They're the guys who go out on a lads' night dressed up in school uniforms, scratch their bollocks, drink way too much beer and go, oh, I'm a geezer. That's the cross-dressing straight men. So fuck that shit straight away. Also, so no. But secondly, yes, they did go after the transgender people. There were records, but they were in the camps as well. So, and there were transgender people who were killed as well. So, bollocks to that. There were actually pictures as well. So, fuck you. Anyway, she also says, so no, not gender critical. So you're saying gender critical aren't neo-Nazis, even though they're with the neo-Nazis, okay. And then she ends, and this bit I don't get, homophobic. So they're not gender critical. Those people, are you saying the neo-Nazis aren't gender critical, they're homophobic? So if they're homophobic, why are they and they don't go after trans people, why are they to rally against trans people? Or are you saying we're homophobic for saying that you're neo-Nazis, that doesn't even make sense. That's like, oh my God, you just called me a neo-Nazi. You're a misogynist. You're a fascist. You're a rabbit. You know what I mean? Fuck's sake. That's why I give me my Wally of the week. I feel like busting loose with some bad jokes. Action.
What do you call a camel with 3 humps?
I don't know. What do you call a camel with 3 humps?
Camel.
Okay, thanks, Paul. It's time for Jasmine's food review.
Right. Welcome back to Jasmine's review again. Food review. Right, let's try the next one.
What is it? Panna cotta.
Panna cotta. Let's try it. That's awful.
And now it's time for our royal correspondent. Hello, my name is Lady Frances Toblerone-Chives, and I am the royal correspondent for Morning Everywhere, and I'm also the editor of Horse and Hound, Jolly Countryman, Bimbo, Posh Totty, and of course my personal favourite for Daily Mind Your Own Business. Let me tell you a bit about myself. I'm an average ordinary person. I was born in an average ordinary castle, which was called Snobbington Manor, and I had a very, very wonderful but ordinary childhood. Do you know the ordinary childhood things we do, like playing with horses and beating the manservants, all that type of stuff. But let me tell you a lot about what I became really obsessed with, which was the royal family. The royal family are the greatest family of all time. They are so fantastic. I love them all. I'm good friends with King Charles. But not the King Charles, a King Charles Spaniel. King Charles would never talk to me, of course. I'm too common for him. And ignore that story that everybody said in the press about me and Prince Edward and the banana. It's not true. Basically, I have been war correspondent and I've been helping them for a long time. And people are saying that the war correspondents, it's not a real job and we're not really journalism. We're just doing what they tell us to do. I would like to say that I have journalistic integrity and I don't just do what people tell me to do. And that is that. And just because I might have left some information out because Prince James III told me once, that's just a coincidence. Nothing bad at all. Now, we're going to a big thing at the moment, of course, and that's Prince Harry. Poor Prince Harry. Fucking asshole, I hate him. Anyway, no. Prince Harry, a lot of people say I was responsible for the destruction is not a good word, is it? Annihilation of Prince Harry. And I would like to say that's not true. The press never did anything. And we never said anything bad about Meghan. And I don't understand why they've said these things. I mean, yes, somebody did say something about what they were wondering what the colour would be of the child, but it's just speculation, isn't it? I mean, I don't see how that is racist. We just wanted to know if he was going to be white, black, or yellow. I don't know. No, that doesn't sound right, does it? We'll do something with that later. Basically, but lots of people said I was racist about that, and they said there were some horrible things. I mean, I did, and I would like to say I did none of those things. No, I did not put a bat in Meghan's room. That was just there. Just because it had my name on a tag. I don't even know how a bat had a tag, but it wasn't my fault. And no, I did not train that vulture to try to attack her. No, that never happened at all. Absolutely nonsense. Why would I train a vulture to attack her? And it wasn't my fault, it was a rare vulture. It wasn't my fault, but it was a mimic vulture. culture. I never even knew there was such a thing. And it wasn't my fault. It said, my name is Francis, die. That was just a coincidence. Nothing to do with me. I don't have a problem with Meghan or Harry. I don't understand why people think I have. Of course, I have only one thing, which is journalistic integrity and serving my mistress Camilla. I didn't just say that, did I? I didn't just say that. No, of course I didn't. No. Oh, that must have been the programming. No, just ignore that. Oh God, I'm getting flustered now. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna go. So goodbye. Thank you very much. Have a nice night. This was Clerks Free Movie Review. Right, okay, so anyone who's ever seen the Clerks films is going to be looking forward to Clerks 3. If you've not seen the Clerks films, or you don't like the Clerks films, I'd give Clerks 3 a wide berth. But I'm a big major fan of Kevin Smith's Clerks series. The first film was a brilliant comedy of about 20-somethings, and the whole idea of the world is of not fulfilling your potential and being a bit of a slacker. It was also, pardon me. It was. I thought it was a very good film. So was Clerks 2. Clerks 2 was funny, but Clerks 3. Oh, where to start? It's Kevin Smith had a heart attack, and he's basically and because of that he wrote Clerks 3, which is all about reflecting life. We start off quite strangely because it's all about Randall this time, and usually the films are all about Dante, so it's a bit weird to suddenly slant it onto the sidekick character of Randall, but there is a reason why. Randall has a heart attack. Because of his heart attack, he realises that he's not done much with his life and decides to make a movie. But this film really isn't about Randall, it's about Dante. Because Dante, we learn as the film is going on, that things are not really going brilliant for him. They never are in the films, but at the end of the second film, he actually became a business owner, he had a girlfriend, things were going wrong. But when we find out that his girlfriend died in pregnancy, and we find out he's quite depressed in life, and he's just dealing with it, going through the motions, and not really coming to terms with most of this stuff. And it's a brilliant film because this is all about Dante finding his person, finding out who he is, and it's all about Randall realising that Dante is a very important part of his life and he takes for granted. It's done through lots of typical Kevin Smith comedy, lots of silly nonsense, but it's got a real heart, this film. And it's so sad because this is the film, I won't give away the twist at the end, but it's a film it's very much the final film of the Dante trilogy. And very much a story which basically started off with Dante, the young man who wanted to do something but never ever had the gumption to do it. It became Dante, the middle-aged guy who was just going through the motions and doing the things what people expected of him until he realised that they didn't fulfil his potential. And this is Dante, the older guy, looking back, reflective, and first not thinking that he's done much with his life, and then realising that he's done quite a bit. It's a brilliant film. It's fun. It's got, of course, lots of the same Kevin Smith staples. Some of them are a little bit over the top, and it does seem to be pushing the other two films quite a bit. But it's a celebration of those films, I suppose. So that's why so it doesn't really matter that much. I don't think it's as good as Clerks. It's better than Clerks 2, although Clerks 2 had its brilliant moments. So I'm going to give it 3 thumbs up. There we go. And that's it. Thank you.
Steve's Soapbox.
Honey, how you doing? You alright? You good? Right, let's talk about something. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling. Everybody talk about J.K. Rowling. Everyone says, hey, what did she really say which was transphobic? No, she's not transphobic. It's just these people whining and moaning and they want to make somebody bad. But what did she say what was transphobic? What did she actually say? And everything, and when you try and tell them what she actually said, they all go, oh, but you can see it this way, you can see it that way. Here's the thing, if you really were transphobic, of course you're going to make it sound like it's something else. Of course you're going to say, well, I'm not really being transphobic, I just care about puppies and dogs and women and children and all that shit. Of course you're going to try and make out something. You're not going to just turn around and say, oh, fucking trannies need their cocks cut off, do you? No, you're not going to say shit like that, because that would make it obvious you're transphobic. So, the thing is, what did she actually say? It's not what she actually said. What we should be looking at is what she actually meant, and is she got a problem? Now, here's the thing. She is supposed to care about women, children, and all this sort of stuff. Apart from a thing about Iranian children, which came after an Iranian actually gave her a death threat, she hasn't said anything about women and children, which doesn't involve trans people, in over 3 or 4 years. Now, here's the thing. During this time, we have had a woman who was killed by a cop. We have had rape going up and up and up and up. We have had women's rights being ignored and taken away. Abortion rights. Now, whether you agree with abortion or not, a woman should have the right to make a choice of her own body. That is just a fact. That's a fact of life. And if you don't agree with that, you don't support women. But yet, did J.K. Rowling say any of these things? Did she say anything? No, she didn't say jack shit about any of this. It's only when a trans person's involved is when J.K. Rowling says, and I'm not being funny, but it's every fucking 10 minutes. She has literally written about trans people 350 times, and it's never in a good light. Now, here's the thing, right? In America right now, a bloke has turned around and said, we must abolish transgender people. Well, he said transgenderism, which isn't a real word, and he said, oh, we just want to get rid of the trans... But what we don't care about the people, we just want to get rid of them, stopping being who they are. Now, J.K. Rowling, in her original tweet, which wasn't transphobic, said, and I quote, be what you like, do what you like, wear what you like, and if your rights are being taken over, I will stand by you. Guess what? They're being told not to wear what they like. They're being told not to do what they like. They're being told all these things. Where's JK? Where's JK standing for the rights? Oh, that's right, she's fucked off and she's just shagging Neil in the cupboard. Oh, by the way, that was a joke, JK, so please don't slap me. Oh, let me tell you about slapping. J.K. Rowling, if you say anything which is libelous, she will slap you. Now, the fact of the matter is, in a courtroom, if I went to a court and I said that, they would look at it and go, it was humour. He didn't mean it. He wasn't saying that she has left her husband in a cupboard. That's obviously a joke, and therefore it wouldn't stand up in a court of fucking law. But I can't afford to do that, you see. So what will happen later on, if this ever come out and she ever saw it, is she would give me a slap, which is a little letter saying, you can't say this, I'm going to get you done for libel. And I have to apologise, even though I've done nothing wrong. And this is kind of Orwellian, which is really hilarious, because J.K. Rowling says that people using certain words for trans people are being 1984 and Orwellian, yet she's the most Orwellian thing that ever exists. A billionaire telling poor people that they can't say this and that about her, yet we can't also say this and that about ourselves because she says no. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling, suck my fucking big nose. Oh, you thought I was going to say something else? No way. This rant's over. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Shout it out loud. Want something a bit fun? Want something good on your YouTube? Try the Natasha and Debbie show. They do react to stuff and comedy videos and other things, but they're just two Americans discovering about England. And it's really fun to watch it from their perspective, because some things you think you take for granted and they then show you that they have no idea what you're talking about. It's brilliant, it's fun, they've both got a really good sense of humour, they're very, very lovely people. I would definitely recommend it. In fact, I am recommending it. The Natasha and Debbie show, shout out. Final thoughts. They want to use the women's toilets, but the truth is that trans people were using the women's toilets for over 20 years, maybe even more than that. What they actually wanted was nothing to do with women's toilets, but they wanted the GRC, which would mean that trans people, it would be easier for them to be recognised as women, well, which they can be recognised to as now, but the hoops they have to go through are quite bad, and some of them it's quite hard and it's quite depressing when you're trying to be recognised as something, and then you have to go through so many hoops. That's all they wanted, and that's what was said. But it was like, oh, they want to be in women's sports. They want this, they want that. They're a danger. Think of these things. And when you went through each one of these things, you could actually sort them out really quickly and say, right, this is a problem. But if we did this, it wouldn't be a problem. But the media would not say, well, would not present that. They wouldn't show that side of it. And what happens is, eventually the wording starts to change. It's no longer, there is a problem with what trans people want and it could make this happen. It's now like people want this to happen. For example, with toilets. It's all right for a trans person to use the toilet, but if you make it easier, anyone could use the toilet and rape a woman. The fact that anyone could use the toilet anyway because there's no security in the toilet was ignored. But when you try to explain that, it became, oh, but men are this and men are that and men are that, and you go, and then it's based men in dresses, and you're like, okay, they're trans women, come on. And you say trans women to trans women, and it goes, there's no proof, and you go, and it goes round and round and round in circles, and the actual arguments don't get addressed. And then the media start to change the sayings, like a lot of media are saying, the trans activists want this because they want men in toilets. Why do they want men in toilets? Why can't they just let trans women who have gone through the process be in toilets? Why do they want everyone, even people who self-identify, even people who are non-binary? What is going on? And what you don't realise is the language is changing. And now a lot of people are saying trans activists are paedophiles and trans activists are rapists and or are misogynists, and your actual meaning, and every time you try to explain your meaning, it gets ignored, or you get told, you don't really know what's going on. You are being tricked. I know what's going on because of this phrase here. And it's like, no, that's not what, if you listen to everything which was around it, that's not what is being said. And people don't understand that. They think, oh, well, trans people want this, trans people want that. They want to be known so much. Why can't they just go away? The thing is, they're not going to go away. And the more the media tries to pretend they're a problem, the more panic we get and the more problems we do get, and we need to address them. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear, but you know what I'm like, I do babble a lot. Hopefully some people understood what I said. If you've enjoyed this show, could you please like it or dislike it? If you didn't enjoy it, please subscribe so you can see more content, and share it. Share the show. Let people know what I'm up to. I'm trying to keep things light. I know I've been a bit blah, blah, blah at the end of there, but I'm trying to keep things light, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.